Hey guys, it's Jedi Lex, and this past weekend I attended Megacon 2025 in Orlando on both Friday and Saturday. In this video, I'm going to take you through my experience on Saturday and everything that I did while I was at the convention. I had a little bit of a late start on Saturday, so I decided first to go check out the celebrity autograph area since that was the one area of the convention floor I hadn't had time to check out yet. It was super busy on Saturday, but I was able to find the tables where the Skeleton Crew cast was hanging out, doing autographs and photo ops. I then decided to walk around the convention floor and came across this booth that was the ultimate Star Wars jackpot. This booth had an intense amount of Star Wars collectibles, including playsets, vehicles, creatures, weapons, accessories, Legos, and more. They had a ton of Black Series figures, including this really cool The Last Command 4-pack, and a Grand Admiral Thrawn with his Salamary. There was a huge section of vintage collection figures, including a Kanan Jarrus and Grand Admiral Thrawn from Rebels. They had a ton of other Star Wars figures, and a bunch of these comic and figure packs that I always find super fascinating. I then got in line to wait for the Skeleton Crew panel. I will go ahead and show some of my favorite clips from the panel here in a second, but if you're interested in more highlights, I made a separate video for this panel, which I will add the link down in the description and a clickable link in the top right hand corner.
As I understand, this is your very first Megacon, is that correct? Very first one? Okay, so listen. With it being your first Megacon, we have something special. We got these awesome stickers that we got to share.
No, you don't! Oh my God.
These on. This is very important. There you go. Yes, there we go. We got one. Here we go. Yes, just you need one too, right?
I was 6, and I'd been taken to the cinema by my parents. I'd seen Disney animation. And then there was Star Wars. And it just blew my mind. It blew my dad's mind, it blew my sister's mind. And it went from that to obviously also the total immersion where I was playing with the toys.
Of course.
And you get the bed sheets and the phone. It just took over.
Of course.
And in many ways, I look back and realise it kind of enforced how I played acting. Playing characters running around, you're Luke Han, you need Chewbacca, you need Vader. I mean, and so it was hugely important. I love it.
Were you ever Chewbacca?
I really was introduced to it by my dad. I think that's a universal way of getting introduced to it. But I watched the first Star Wars movie, and I also heard about the characters, the weapons, I fell in love with it. I mean, I love sci-fi, so I think really Star Wars was kind of everything that franchise was to me. Like, I don't know, it was everything I wanted in one franchise. And I really enjoyed it, and I was Darth Vader for Halloween.
Oh, that's quite cute. You were about that big, right?
Yeah. Very scary.
That's not foreshadowing of season 2. Don't even.
For me, it was also probably with my dad, but what's funny is that whenever we would go on set, like within like the first, I feel like every single day of shooting, he was like fangirling even more than me on set. So it was so much fun, and we got to like share it together, and yeah, it was so lucky. I was also introduced by my dad. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's very basic now. But I was introduced when I was 4 years old, and I saw Princess Leia, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I love Star Wars. I know, right? Yeah, I know. I dressed up as her when I was really young. There must be a photo somewhere out there of me with like towels in my
with my dad, and that was his favorite movie. And he introduced it to me when I was a few days old. That's not an exaggeration. I'm not just saying that for the bit. But really, I know what was happening, so I rewatched it again when I was 5. But it's just such a fun, it's such a fun experience. It's just a charming story, a charming idea that I think we all enjoyed at some point. So I'm glad that I was introduced to it at a very young age.
We're super glad about it too. To help me kind of direct this conversation, I think we need to fill this other chair here. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Bryce Dallas Howard.
Holy.
And so, yeah, no, I watched it at Skywalker Ranch.
Kid like her, y'all. Kid like her. But I think it kind of fits the trigger. Would you say that just like everyone else, it was your dad you kind of got him into?
I was influenced, as a kid, and now I'm still a kid, but as a younger kid.
Like I said, I've always been a fan, especially Han Solo. And it immediately reminded me of him and like the costume fitting and like the wardrobe. And also like Princess Leia, she's not like afraid to fight for what she thinks is right. And I feel like Fern is the same way.
Here's the truth. They're unbelievably professional actors. Unbelievably professional. Prepared, present, playful, as you should be as an actor. And, I'm not speaking for you, Jude. But genuinely, and Jude as well, obviously, Jude Law, and one of the most actors of all time, but also an incredible father. And I really saw you with, this cast really kind of, taking on that role. Father, big brother, and as a director, what I'll just say is that, I felt like it was one of the most kind of organized, focused, aligned shoots that I've ever been on. I went to college with John Watts and Chris Ford, was friends with John Watts and Chris Ford in college. And so getting to see them go through this rise has been remarkable, and boy, were they ready for this. And so, it was just such a joy to get to step in as a director because everything was already happening. They had already created their characters, they were already, doing all of it, so it was a dream.
I love it.
Also, how about shooting Star Wars? They still had to do school. That's the irony, is that they were every single time there was a break, they would go and do schoolwork and come back. So they were working harder than any adult on the entire production.
It really it was good research. It would always be the weirdest thing when you'd be acting with droids and then you'd be doing a math test. Not right.
Honestly, we kind of like the idea that he had zero lightsaber experience,
right?
Because he wouldn't have picked one up before.
Yeah.
And so we consciously, which doesn't often happen when you're prepping for a part, we consciously decided to do nothing. It's like, shall we plan? But I mean, I've done stuff, in the past with swords, with knives, cutlasses, all that sort of fencing. So I'd used something similar before, but this was and they would do wonderful enhancements on the set. So whenever the lightsaber came out and it was lit, you'd get yes. You'd play it in the room. So initially you just can't believe it. And smiling.
All I can say, one time on set we were waiting and the props guys were here and they had a lightsaber and I was like, it was so quiet.
Like, definitely not. A lightsaber, that takes a lot of training.
Okay.
Years and years and years
Yes.
of training.
Yes.
Years of training. But I would have an issue even if I did have training because I cannot not make the sound.
You're supposed to. Right? Isn't it? No, that's part of the rules, isn't it?
I mean, I wonder if they were playing the noise on set just so that you wouldn't go like you're like no sound effects required.
It's so hard. Especially when you're like blasting stuff and it's just like you want to go pew.
It was very hard what to say. And here's an insight. So blasters don't have any kick.
Okay.
And I've played parts in the past where you have to fire arms and so you have to add a little kick. So I'm going pew, pew, and they're like, no. No pew pew.
No recoil.
Wait.
Oh yeah. So I mean, this is a big spoiler, but there's one scene. I don't know if anyone saw this in the background of episode 3 when I fall down the hill.
Yes.
Yeah. This guy right here.
So I'm just gonna say something
Here we
here.
go, here we go.
So in the episode that we did together, there was a big giant fight sequence where they did some pretty bad things and it was very cool. I trained for it for quite a while. And it got caught.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So tough. But yeah, I got to see them all in action, and honestly, it's terrifying to be an adult in their presence because they're children and they just throw their bodies in ways in which would break us.
Alright. There would be no more Neil.
Not just no more Neil, no more Robert.
Done and done.
But we never endanger the children, honestly. Every precaution.
Way to jump in with that one. I was like, no. They were very safe. They were very safe.
And film is funny like that. You have an extraordinary experience, you go away as a group, you make something, but meeting your audience, and meeting people who are enthusiastic and love storytelling, just like Bryce said, is a huge important part of what we do. You know, we do it, you're in it, you do it, and then you've got to, so you're a big part of this.
We so thoroughly appreciate your presence here and everything that you've done for not just our entertainment, for Star Wars, the craft, all the love. Thank you guys so very much. Megacon 20!
The highlight of my day was getting to hang out with Gianni from I Am Gianni V and Tony from Star Wars Sith while they were working the Theory Sabers booth. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, or even click to watch one of my other videos, and may the Force be with you.